Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Savannah Chrisley reveals truth in wrongful firing. Savannah is the daughter of Todd and Julie Chrisley. While known for her Chrisley Knows Best, she is also known for her podcast, Unlocked. Recently, Savannah was asked if she would use her podcast to shed some light on a recent story, her father losing his prison chaplain job. The Unlocked host shared her side of the story. Savannah has at times used her podcast, Unlocked with Savannah Chrisley, to discuss what it was like appearing on the show and updates concerning stories about her family. Not only has her father Todd appeared on the show, Savannah has used it to update fans over the family's various legal issues. Recently, a story has come out about Savannah's father Todd losing his job assisting a prison chaplain. Naturally, Savannah had been asked the question, "Can you talk about on your podcast why they stopped your dad from working with the chap?" The Unlocked hostess shared the following statement. "My dad was fired from the chapel due to retaliatory actions taken by staff at FPC Pensacola, specifically Mandy Ramsey. He and other men overheard her verbally abusing residents in the drug and alcohol program." Some commenters claim Savannah Chrisley's comments can do more harm than good. His termination seems to be a direct response to the investigation into these abusive practices. This situation raises serious concerns about retaliation and the treatment of individuals who speak up against misconduct. On the Chrisley Knows Prison Reddit page, which shared Savannah's statement, many commenters were concerned with her sharing. Quite a few pointed out she could be doing more harm than good by making the statement. One user wrote she's just piling on the punishment for her dear daddy. Another felt it would impact Todd's future prison jobs. As they wrote, she just ruined any chance of her dad ever getting a cushy job on the inside. Another wrote that, "I get it, she loves her parents and wants them home, but what she's doing is just making it 1,000 times more harder for them. The golden rule: you don't speak on what goes on between them gates, and if you do, you get it to a person who no one is the system knows, so it can't come back on your loved ones." Todd's attorney, Jay Sargent, had also recently issued a statement over his client losing his prison chaplain job. Speaking with Today, he claimed there was no real reason given for Todd's termination. Beforehand, there was some speculation that Todd got into trouble for talking with inmates in the residential drug abuse program. Many of these inmates had access to the outside world. The glossy headlines hinted at drama, but Savannah Chrisley's latest revelation had nothing to do with reality TV antics or tabloid rumors. It was a tale of betrayal and resilience, and it was personal. In a heartfelt message to her fans, Savannah pulled back the curtain on a wrongful firing that had shaken her world, bringing to light a side of her life few had seen. Savannah had always seemed to shine no matter what. Known for her quick wit and ambition on shows like Chrisley Knows Best, she had grown up under the spotlight. But as she explained in her post, this was different. This was the real world, where career decisions had weight and trust wasn't so easily given. "It's about doing what's right," Savannah began, her words raw with emotion. She explained how, after years of dedicated work with a company that felt like a second home, she had found herself abruptly dismissed with little warning and even less explanation. At first, she thought it had to be a misunderstanding, a temporary setback in a world she had worked so hard to thrive in. After all, Savannah wasn't just an employee, she was a familiar face with an audience, someone who had inspired many by being unapologetically herself. But the dismissal was real, and it didn't take long for Savannah to realize that this was more than a simple case of cutting back. "I gave my all to them," Savannah said. "I went above and beyond because I genuinely believed in what we were doing, in the people I worked with. So to be tossed aside like I was nothing, it hurt. But worse than that was knowing this was about more than just me. It was about standing up for anyone who's been silenced, dismissed, or told their voice didn't matter." Determined to understand why she had been let go, Savannah began to piece together clues, diving into old emails and re-examining past interactions. It was exhausting work, but it paid off. Soon enough, she uncovered troubling details, signs of discrimination, backdoor dealings, and even documented plans that contradicted everything she'd been told. More than anything, Savannah was angered by the lack of transparency, the ways her efforts had been exploited without recognition. What Savannah found wasn't a straightforward paper trail. Instead, it was the unsettling realization that her role had been quietly minimized in recent months. The work she had invested herself in had been used without acknowledgement, the credit shifted to others. As she spoke with past coworkers, she learned that many shared her concerns and had felt marginalized or intimidated by those in charge. There was a pattern, one that had kept too many quiet for too long. It was as if her career had been playing out on a chessboard she hadn't even known she was standing on. This revelation, however, was more than just a personal attack. For Savannah, it was a call to action. "I don't just want to walk away and let this happen to someone else," she said. "I want to make sure everyone knows they deserve a seat at the table, that their work is valued, and that they're not alone." With this mission in mind, Savannah began planning her next steps. She sought legal counsel, choosing a team that believed in her fight for justice as much as she did. As her story unfolded, it resonated with fans and followers who had seen their own voices lost in the shuffle. Messages poured in, each one reminding her why she was speaking up in the first place. To Savannah, this fight wasn't just about righting a personal wrong, it was about shining a light on the many ways unfair practices seep into workplaces of all kinds. People should never feel afraid to speak up for fear of being pushed out or losing everything they've worked for, she said in her final words to her followers. Her tone was one of empowerment, the kind that ignites when someone finally decides to take control. In the weeks that followed, Savannah remained firm in her determination. With each step forward, she felt stronger, her resolve sharpened. She knew she couldn't change the past, but she could create a future where individuals in any industry had a platform for their voices. Every interview, every social media post was another chance for her to reach out to those who'd been dismissed and mistreated. Soon, media outlets started picking up the story, headlines speculating on the real reasons behind her dismissal. Yet as more information came to light, it became clear that Savannah's claims weren't the complaints of a disgruntled employee. They were a wake-up call to an industry often too willing to ignore the voices that drive it forward. As Savannah continued to shed light on the events, her family rallied behind her. Todd, her father, known for his own roller coaster battles with the media and legal system, became her loudest supporter, reminding her of the importance of standing up for what's right. Her brother Chase and mother Julie, too, shared their pride in her decision, and her grandmother Nanny Faye sent her reminders of her Southern wisdom. "Darlin', you're stronger than you know." The message from her family lifted Savannah's spirits. Their words were proof of the deep-rooted resilience that had carried them through years of public scrutiny. And just as she had been there to support them through thick and thin, they were now there for her. One afternoon, as Savannah prepared for an upcoming interview, she glanced at a photo of her family that sat on her desk. This battle might have begun as her own, but she could feel the collective strength of the Chrisley legacy behind her. It wasn't just about Savannah Chrisley anymore. It was about everyone who had been silenced, ignored, or unfairly treated. As the interview began, she spoke openly about her journey, the pain of betrayal, and the healing she found in speaking up. She talked about the importance of knowing one's worth, of recognizing when it was time to draw the line and demand fairness. "I'm just one person," she said, her voice both humble and unbreakable, but sometimes one voice is all it takes to make a difference. With those words, Savannah Chrisley closed a painful chapter and opened a new one where she wasn't just fighting for herself, but for every person who'd ever felt unseen. Her story served as a beacon, reminding others that while they might face unfairness and hardship, there was power in unity and strength in standing up for what's right. And above all, that the truth had a way of shining through.